Becca here, and we are about to do chair yoga and the inversion template. And for this practice, we're going to need 2 blocks, okay? So we're going to get into some props and of course our chair, right? So you can pause the video if you want to go grab your chair, if you have it all ready. Then I invite you just to kind of like move in your seat a little bit and just like feel yourself kind of grounding into the seat. Maybe you take like a little look around and notice the space around you as you move back and forth. And then whenever you kind of come into where that comfortable place is on the chair, I invite you to lengthen the spine. So just feel that center of the body. And then we can start to do some neck circles and just letting our eyes trace the outer edges of the room. You can imagine like you're drawing a big circle in front of the chin. And then slowly going in the other direction. What are you observing with the eyes? And what sensations are going on in the neck? And then slowly just coming back into center. Maybe you wiggle your toes a little bit and just feel the earth underneath of you. We're going to do a little pranayama. So this is the breath, okay? And this is the box breath that we'll be doing today. So you're going to breathe in for 3, hold it in for 3, breathe out for 3, and then hold it out for 3 and begin again. So whenever you're ready, just maybe let a sigh out. And then inhale, 2, 1, hold, 2, 1, breathe out, 2, 1, hold it out, 2, 1, breathe in, 2, 1, hold, 2, 1, out, 2, 1, hold, 2, 1, in, 2, 1, hold, 2, 1, out, 2, 1, hold, 2, 1, in, 2, 1, hold, 2, 1, out, 2, 1, hold, 2, 1. And then just returning to your natural breath. And you notice, you just feel a little bit more awake, a little more in touch with the breath, right? Our breath is one of the best tools to regulate our nervous system. It's really like a bridge between the mind and the body. So it's wonderful to set up your day and your practice with some mindful breathing exercises. And you can do this anytime, anywhere. You can literally be doing your yoga all the time. Just bringing awareness to that breath. So now let's move our awareness also with the breath, but to the spine. So we're going to begin with a little cat-cow. So you can bring your hands onto your knees or your thighs, or if you have a table, wherever is best for you. And you're just going to find a little undulation. So you're opening through the chest and you're trying to pull the shoulders back. Like I always imagine like I'm pulling my head through like a woolly sweater. And then you can exhale, round out, tuck the chin into the chest. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. And take 3 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Opening and rounding. And once in a while I realize I can go a little bit further and I get a nice little adjustment there. Last one. And then very slowly rising back up through the spine. We're going to be twisting over to our right side. So you can bring that left hand over to the right, right hand back behind you, and just pull that right shoulder back, back, back. Roll the right shoulder up, back, down. So you have options, right? If that back of the chair doesn't feel accessible, take the right hand to the side of the chair, like the part that you're sitting on, or the side of the back of the chair, or the top of the back. So you can think of them like small, medium, large. Which one feels like the right size for you today? Big breath in. Big breath out. And then slowly come back into center. rolling those shoulders out, just like a little reset. And then you can take your right hand to your left knee and left hand anywhere, small, medium, large. Roll that left shoulder back. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Another long inhalation. Slow exhale. And then take one more. And then slowly come back into center. That feels so nice in the back. Let's do one more round on each side. So twisting over to the right, and maybe it feels a little more familiar this time. Can the inhale lengthen the spine, and the exhale maybe provide access to more of a twist there. Another long breath in. Slow breath out. And then coming back through, right hand to left knee or left thigh. Left hand back behind you or alongside. Big breath in. Slow breath out. And then slowly come back into center. Rolling the shoulders out. Maybe just moving the spine around a little bit. Now we're going to get into some side bends, right? So we try to stretch out the side of the body, because you can think along the spine. If you're not stretching the sides of the body and it gets really tight, it's actually going to pull at the vertebrae a little bit and might like cause a little bit of ache, especially underneath the shoulders or in the lower back. So we're going to try to provide some length here. So whenever you're ready, you're going to sweep the right arm up towards the sky. Bring the left hand to grab onto the side of the chair, underneath the chair, or anywhere else that feels supportive. You're just taking a little bit of a lateral movement to the side. So when we do this, we also are stretching out our intercostal muscles that line underneath of our rib cage, and they'll help just stretch out and support our respiratory system. Take another big breath in, big breath out. And then slowly come back up, and you can place the right hand and sweeping the left arm up towards the sky, and then reach it over to the other side. Can you kind of pull that left shoulder back just a little bit more? Good. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then slowly coming back up. We're going to do one more over to the left. Right arm sweeps up and over. And then inhale, coming back up. And then exhale over to the other side. And then inhale, coming back up, placing the hands into the lap. And just slow it down for a moment. Big breath in. Steady breath out. So right now in our class, if you're looking at the template, we have done our opening, our grounding, center, orienting, and breathing. And then we move forward into our seated transition poses, right? So whenever you're ready, we're going to just finish up that little section by doing some leg circles, okay? So usually when I'm instructing leg circles, I have people come back just a little bit and then maybe slide their hips forward. So it's like you have a little sense of like you're easy riding, right? You can start to extend the left leg out, and just like you're trying to draw a circle with the heel of that left foot. And this can be like a really small little tennis ball that can be quite engaging. Or it can even just be using the imagination, and maybe you're just like rolling the ankle out. But you're just trying to find a little engagement, right? All the way down to the toes. So when we like been sitting a lot, or if we, maybe have some injury that we're recovering from, why we need this chair yoga class, it tends to kind of let all the energy come into the torso. And so we're just trying to kind of keep those legs active so that we can keep connecting those neural pathways, these limbs as well. And then you can step that foot in and just notice the sensation in that foot. And whenever you're ready, you're going to start on the right side. And so however big or however that circle shows up for you, you can even hover it if that feels good. But just notice how you're like engaging the inner thigh, the outer thigh. Good. Take another couple. And then planting the foot down. And then slowly sitting up. Do you feel a little more energy through the legs? You can even clap your hands along the legs, lower back, or anywhere that just feels like stuck energy. Sometimes even crossing the arms and just like dusting it off a little bit. So now we're gonna do a little forward fold, but I'm gonna invite you to take your 2 blocks. So right with our blocks, we always have small, medium, and then large size. So we're gonna take, for this one, we're gonna take them both on large size. So you're gonna bring your feet out a little wide, and you can take your blocks and place them here. So this is gonna give us an access point to our forward fold, okay? So you can inhale, lift up through the chest, and then exhale. You can plant the hands down. Maybe you plant the forehead down and just let the arms come down. If that doesn't feel comfortable to you and you want to go a little lower, you can take both blocks side by side on large size, and maybe you bring your forearms down. But you're just looking to try to get your head close to your hips or a little bit below it. This is our inversion. Let's take 3 or 4 more breaths here. Just try to let the exhale be a little longer than the inhale. And then very, very slowly be mindful and keeping the chin tucked into the chest. Maybe you bring the blocks with you. And then slowly letting the crown of the head lift. Take your time. Sometimes this tends to make us a little dizzy. So maybe you want to orient yourself and look a little bit around. And just take a breath. Big breath in. Slow, steady breath out. And one more. And then we're going to be coming into our first round, the foundational round of the wave, okay? So we're going to be coming into Warrior 2, and then if this is the first of the templates that you're watching, I've kind of talked about this a little bit, but having open hip postures is much more accessible in from sitting in the chair. Square hip poses like crescent and Warrior 1 are a little more accessible from behind the chair if you have a client that has that type of mobility. But otherwise, when we're in the chair trying to tend towards more Warrior 2 or like goddess poses, things that allow the hips to be open, it's just going to generally be a lot more comfortable inside of the physical container, okay? So whenever you're ready, I'm gonna let this right foot come kind of wide, and we're gonna extend that left foot. Now there's a lot of range of motion. The left foot extending forward is also totally fine, or maybe you start to move it to the side. Usually you need to move your hips somewhat forward. This is gonna dictate kind of how much of a rotation there is there. Okay, so whenever you're ready, coming into that Warrior 2, notice if that right heel is underneath of the right knee. Maybe you bring your hands to your heart. Maybe you extend your arms out. And just notice, are the shoulders up here? Can you drop them down? Flip both palms up. Bend into the elbows. Give it a little shake. And then slowly placing the left hand along the left thigh. Your right hand can come to the side of the chair or the top of the chair. And then you're just leaning off to the side. Nice big breath in. Big breath out. One more. And then slowly, slowly, slowly coming back up and extending your arms out. Can you feel the shoulders ease? Can you feel some activity all the way to the fingertips, right? Our hands are an extension of our heart line. You can bring the right elbow onto the right thigh, left hand onto the back of the chair. Roll that left shoulder back. Big breath in. Big breath out. Again, long inhale. Big exhale. Maybe you want to sweep the left arm up and over. We want to do a little circle with the arm, whatever feels good to you, and freeing here. Let's take one more long breath in. And then slowly, slowly coming back up. I invite you to bend into that left knee, and you can just notice here for a moment, just pausing. The knees can come together instead. I like to kind of pause in this goddess pose. And then we're going to be moving into warrior two on the other side. So you're extending that right leg again. Where's your range of motion? What feels most comfortable in your container? You want to try to get that left heel underneath of the left knee. Can you feel just like a little flipping of the tailbone and a little lengthening from the spine? So when we engage our core just a little bit, it also supports our breath, okay? So maybe bringing your hands to your heart. And whenever you feel ready, you can start to extend the arms. Flip the palms up, bend into the elbows, feel the shoulders pull away, but feel like you're lifting up through the crown of the head and then extending the arms back out. Big breath in, big breath out. One more. And then you're gonna slowly bring that right hand onto the right thigh. And then the left hand can come to the side or the back of the chair, roll the left shoulder back. Nice long inhale. Super slow, steady exhale. One more. And then slowly coming back up, extending it out. And then bringing your left forearm onto your left thigh and finding that that peaceful little space here in your side ankle pose. Maybe you want to reach the right arm up and over, sweeping it along, or whatever feels lengthening to you. A nice big breath in, big breath out. And then slowly, slowly, slowly taking your time, coming back up. You can release the hands down alongside. You can bend back into that knee. And so if you wanted to add or do a longer class, you could redo this section, especially if you had new chair people in your class today. That way they would have a couple of times to really revisit that posture, because our next round, our more active, strengthening and balancing round, we're actually going to use the back of the chair. Now, always make sure that you cue that it is okay if they want to stay in the chair, that they would just bring their legs together. This is going to be their Tadasana, right? And that kind of leaning forward is going to be their downward facing dog, because you're just looking to really stretch out that lower back and to let the head just be a little bit lower for a moment, okay? So if you're coming to the back of your chair, then I invite you just to swing your knees over to the side. Use your hand to help push your way up. And we're gonna all adjust our chairs towards the front of the mat, okay? So I'm gonna pretend for this one that the mat is right here. And we wanna be in relationship with this chair so that the hip points are right behind it, okay? We're gonna be flowing from Tadasana, which is our mountain pose, to our downward facing dog variation with the chair. And I'm going to show you a couple of versions of that, okay? So once you come into Tadasana, just notice where you're standing. You can come forward and back a little bit, side to side. And then maybe you start to flip the palms, face them open. Big breath in, big breath out. And then planting the hands down, you're going to slowly start to walk your feet back. Now at any point you can just bend into the knees and try to drop the ears in between the arms. Maybe you walk back so you're kind of creating like a letter L here, right? So the head is nice and low and you feel lots of length here. Now another variation a little deeper, you might need to take one more step in, is if you can reach in between the back of the chair and the seat, is you can bring the hands a little bit lower. This is kind of like where I try to graduate people to. Let's take another big breath in, big breath out, and one more. And then we slowly are gonna come up, and we're gonna do this 3 more times. So just being really mindful, because we're going up and down with the head, walking forward, Tadasana. And then exhale, this is the forward fold. So you can bring your hands onto the seat, tuck the chin in, and just swish the hips a little side to side, side to side. And then inhale, slowly rolling up. And on your exhale, you're making your way back to down dog. Take as many breaths as you need to journey there. But we're gonna hang out for 2 breaths. Big breath in, big breath out. Big breath in, big breath out. And taking your time as you slowly, slowly walk your feet forward. And then exhale, folding over top of the chair. Inhale as you start to rise back up, Tadasana. Exhale, the hands come wherever you want them for that downward dog. The feet adjust. Big breath in. Slow breath out. 1 more. Slowly, slowly, slowly walk your feet forward. Coming back up into Tadasana, mountain pose, and then exhale, folding over the chair. Inhale, slowly coming up. And then exhale, slowly coming back. Another big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, slowly walking forward. Exhale, melting over the chair. Inhale, coming up. Walking back as you exhale, down dog, 2 breaths. It's our last round. Big breath in. Big breath out. Last one. And then the inhale, you slowly start to come back up. Walk back up. Exhale as you fold down. And then inhale, just simply rising into your mountain pose. So you can always make this faster or slower, right? Whatever feels like it makes sense to you and your body, always. Everything's an option. And whenever you're ready, we're gonna adjust the chair so that we can adjust our body so we can walk back around to the front of the chair. So we just finished that strengthening round. Now we're gonna come in to that final wave. This is our grounding wave. And we're gonna come back and revisit our warrior 2. So you're gonna step that right knee open and just notice if you need to adjust the hips forward or back. Left leg can come out and swing over as far as you'd like. And then finding your way into your warrior 2 here. If you want, you can extend your arms. I like to always have my hands on my heart here. And just bringing it back down. Big breath in. Slow breath out. 1 more. And I'm going to start to adjust my chest so it just starts to move towards the right leg. And then you can bring maybe your forearms here. Maybe you let your chest come down. Maybe you even utilize these blocks and bring them on either side of the leg. We're going to take another big breath in. Big breath out. And then slowly lifting back up. You can bring your blocks with you. And then you can start to extend that right leg. So all 10 of your toes are facing forward. You have your blocks. I like to take them large on top of large. And then you can just start to bring your forearms down. And we're just doing like a little wide leg stretch. If this feels uncomfortable to you, you're just going to slide further back and try to flex through the toes and let the back be held by the back of the chair. So just two different variations, but still quite active in the same muscle groups, okay? We can take our time here. Let's hang out for a few more breaths. Another big breath in, big breath out. Slowly, slowly, slowly coming up, rolling the shoulders up, back down. And you can start to bend at the knees. Those blocks can remain in between the legs. And whenever you're ready, you're gonna exhale, come into a forward fold. So maybe that forehead comes onto the blocks. Maybe the arms get heavy. Maybe you keep the hands or the forearms on the knees or the thighs. Let's take 3 more breaths. Slowly, slowly start to come up. The crown of the head be the last thing to lift. We're just going to transition to our other side. So you can open that left knee up. Extend that right leg. And you're going to start to find that warrior 2 on this side, right? So you find a little lift through the chest. Maybe you extend the arms. Maybe you bring the hands onto the heart. And just notice as you're like shoulders leaning kind of one way or the other way, can you create a little sense of equanimity here? Big breath in. Slow and steady, exhale, let it go. And then whenever you're ready, you're gonna take your blocks and you can bring them on either side. And just like on the other side, we're gonna just start to adjust the chest a little bit so it's towards the left leg. So you have the option that you can just lean forward here with the hands, with the forearms, or maybe you come all the way down. Either one, I'd like you to try to activate your inner right thigh here. And just sense that. Big breath in. Big breath out. Again. Slowly, slowly, slowly coming back up. You can lean back and extend through that left leg. And just for this one, we're gonna lift our toes and we're just gonna take a little wide-legged stance here. Take a breath. And slowly bend into the knees. You can pull the feet towards each other. Find a little lift through the chest. And then exhale, we're gonna take our forward fold again. So how do you wanna take that? Is that the forearms onto the thighs? Do you bring your blocks one on top of the other and bring the forehead down? Do you bring your forearms down onto the blocks? What feels like it holds you? Take a few more breaths. Very slowly, you start to rise back up. Just give yourself a moment just to kind of adjust, see the space. Just notice if you already feel a little more grounded. We're gonna come back into that cat-cow. So you're gonna inhale, flip the tailbone open through the chest. And then exhale as you round out. Inhale as you open up. Exhale as you round. Take a few more. Inhale, opening. Exhale, rounding. Opening. Rounding. Sensing your tailbone, your sit bones being held by the chair. And very, very slowly, you can start to heel toe the feet together. Maybe you bring your hands to the outer edges of the hips. Maybe cross the legs for a moment, just like a little counterbalance. And the other way. Whichever just brings you a little more sense of comfort. And we're going to move into a twist. You can take your left hand towards your right leg and your right hand back behind you. Roll that back right shoulder back, back, back. Big breath in. Big breath out. Another long inhalation. Slow exhale. And then coming back into center and over to the left. Left hand back behind you. Right hand to left knee. Big breath in. Slow breath out. One more. And then slowly coming back into center. You can go ahead and let yourself just kind of rest back. We're going to find our Shavasana here, okay? So maybe you bring your head to the wall if you want to move your chair back to a wall. You just don't want your head floating. I'll provide a little yoga nidra script that you can use for this portion of the class, just like a little guided imagery. But let's all rest a moment together. Breath in. And a gentle sigh out. Maybe blink open the eyes. You can come back up into your seat. We'll rest our hands together. We end this part of our journey by saying namaste. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing this time. Bye.